By far the most missed meal for South Africans living abroad is Boerewors and pap, also known as polenta. And this here is Boerewors. It's a lovely spiral sausage, 90% beef, beautiful spices in here like cloves and nutmeg. So you cook it in one piece, like this. What I want to do is I want to get a colour underneath, then I'm going to flip it, get a colour on the other side, and then as I always do when I'm cooking sausages, I then turn the heat way down to make sure the meat is fully cooked inside. So while that's browning, I want to get on with some onions because I want to serve some onions alongside it. Top and tail my onion. Take the outer layers off, and then I'm just going to cut it down the middle. Trying not to cry. There we are, so these go into the pan. They'll take up the beautiful flavours of the sausage and they'll be perfect to add to my gravy later. Look at the colour on that. That's a beautiful caramelisation and it's just going to follow right through into the final flavour of this dish. That's browning beautifully underneath. Of course, this is traditionally cooked on a braai or a barbecue, but then when you've got that South African sunshine, why wouldn't you? Well, it's quite okay to do it in a pan or to brown it in the pan and finish it in the oven here in our Irish climate. So the temperature's way down now and it's just low and slow. And the trick when you're cooking this is not to prick the sausage because it's such a high meat content sausage, you don't want any of the juices to flow out or you'll have very dry sausage. So the trick is keep it whole and just check that it's cooking beautifully, which it is, on a nice low heat. And my onions are doing great as well. So now I can get on with the pap. The pap is maize, which is here, it's coarsely ground meal, and all I do is cook it in hot stock. Now I'm bringing a slight Italian twist to it, I'm putting parmesan in, and a decent bit of butter. Now in general, polenta is actually quite flavourless, so the trick is to build bits of flavour in as you go. So I'm starting with vegetable stock. You could use chicken stock either, and it has to be boiling. So it's now boiling, I'm just turning it down a little bit, and then you get your maize or polenta and you in it, just trickle, you start whisking it in as you're pouring it in. And at first, you'll think this is an easy job. And before long, it feels like you're mixing cement as it thickens. It doesn't take long at all. Now, get my temperature way down on this, and off we go. See what I'm saying about mixing cement? Gets quite thick, and at this point you add in the cheese and that just softens it a bit, and of course butter, and I'm quite generous with the butter. I'm going with all of this, giving that a whisk in. That's just going to make it lovely and rich. It needs a nice bit of salt as well, and the parmesan. Now polenta doesn't hang around. When it's ready, you serve it. Okay, I'm happy with the sausage. Perfect. The onions look great. The polenta is done. So to plate up, the polenta goes on your plate and the sausage on top. I should stress I'm doing more than one portion here. And then our lovely Boerewors. And that goes into the middle like this. So you can see the colour looks amazing. Oh, and then I have my lovely onions as well. So let's just pop them on the side, maybe here. A couple of onions. Beautiful. And maybe a little herb for a final flourish. I have some fresh rosemary here, and I think that's just going to lift it colour-wise, because you've got that lovely golden colour of the polenta, and then you've got that beautiful richness of the meat, and then a nice bright bit of green from the garden, lovely bit of rosemary. So that there is your Boerewors with pap or polenta.